We have completed the theory for chapter number 5 in Maths 2, which is coordinate geometry. We have completed the practice sets 5.1, 5.2, and 5.3. We have completed all the formulae. We have completed all the applications also. Today, what we will do is we will look at all the formulae that we have learned in this chapter, and we will go through all the questions that are there in the problem set 5, which is at the end of the chapter, starting at page number 122. There are 22 questions spread across 2 pages. Some questions we will solve in the class, and some questions we will not solve in the class now. We will just discuss how to solve, then you will try, and in the next class we will see if you could solve or not. That is what we are going to do. So please be ready with your textbooks, notebooks, pencils, and pens. This is what we are going to do: revision of the formula, and we will practice with the questions that are there in problem set 5. First, the formula. We started the chapter by looking at the distance formula. If the 2 points are, if we have 2 points with coordinates x1, y1 and x2, y2, we can find the distance between them using this formula, which is square root of sum of 2 terms. What are the 2 terms? First one is x2 minus x1 whole square. Second one is y2 minus y1 whole square. Remember, in this formula, if we change the order of x2 and x1, y2 and y1, then also the formula will remain correct. Also, if we change the order of the term itself, that is, if we write y2 minus y1 before x2 minus x1, then also the formula will remain the same. If all this is confusing, and it can be confusing if you are not sure, if we are not clear about the underlying mathematics which relates to integers and squares, then you just remember this formula: x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 whole square, square root of the entire sum. This is the distance formula. Then we looked at division of a line, in which we studied section formula. So if we have 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2, so the line segment joining them will be joining x1, y1 and x2, y2. Now, if there is a point on the line which divides the line segment in the ratio m:n, then the coordinates of that point, the address of that point, will be given by these formulas. X coordinate can be calculated as mx2 plus nx1 by m plus n, and y coordinate can be calculated as my2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n. When we apply this formula to a special case, and the special case is when the point which is on the given line segment at the center of the line segment, the midpoint, then the formula simplifies to x1 plus x2 by 2 and y1 plus y2 by 2. That is, if we have a line segment joining the points x1, y1 and x2, y2, then the coordinates of the midpoints are these. X coordinate is x1 plus x2 by 2, and y coordinate is y1 plus y2 by 2. Similarly, when we applied the section formula to centroid of a triangle. Centroid is the point of concurrence of medians of a triangle. Median is the line segment which joins the vertex to the midpoint of the other side, opposite side. So, if a triangle is made up of 3 vertices, all the triangles are made up of 3 vertices. If the coordinates of the 3 vertices of a triangle are x1, y1, x2, y2, and x3, y3, then the coordinate of the centroid can be calculated as x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3 for the x coordinate, and y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3 for the y coordinate. So section formula, midpoint formula, and centroid formula. We finish the chapter by understanding slope of a line. Slope of a line means how inclined it is, how steep it is, how much height it gains for unit horizontal distance. And mathematically, we calculate it in two different ways. Both are ratios. One ratio is defined as slope as y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, where x1, y1 and x2, y2 are 2 points on the line. The same thing can also be calculated as tan theta, where theta is the angle made by this line with the positive direction of x-axis. And we saw how the slope can be 0, it can be positive, it can be negative. We saw how the direction of the slope decides the sign of the slope. If the angle made by the line with the positive direction of the x-axis is acute angle, then the slope is positive. If the angle is obtuse, then the slope is negative. If the angle is exactly 45 degrees, then it is kind of bisecting the axis, the angles made by the axis. Also remember, all the lines that are parallel to the x-axis, including x-axis, the slope is 0. So all horizontal lines have slope 0. All vertical lines that are y-axis and the lines parallel to y-axis, their slope will be, we don't know, we cannot find, it is not defined. First question of problem set, as usual, is a multiple choice question. Here it says, first question number 1, part 1. It says segment AB is parallel to y-axis and coordinates of point A are 1, 3. So there is a line segment AB. The coordinates of point A are given very clearly. Coordinates are 1, 3. What is asked is, what are the coordinates of point B, or what can be the coordinates of point B? And what we have been informed about, the other information that we know about this line segment is, this line segment is parallel to y-axis. Tell me, one of you come out of mute and tell me what are we going to think? How are we going to get the answer? Thank you, Khadija. So what Prachi and Khadija are telling me in the chat is, this line segment is parallel to y-axis. This line segment is parallel to y-axis. Because this line segment is parallel to y-axis, all the points on this line segment will have the same x coordinate. Y coordinate will change, but it will have all of them will have the same x coordinate. So all we have to find is, जो 4 option दिए गए हैं, उसमें से which of those points has the same x coordinate as the given point. So the coordinates of the point that are given are 1, 3. हमको बस ये ढूंढना है कि ये जो 4 options दिए गए हैं, which of them have the same x coordinate, that is 1. Here it is 1. So the answer is B. So yes, Prachi and Khadija, we have to write exactly what you said. We will say that segment AB is parallel to y-axis. That implies x coordinate will remain same. X coordinate of the points on this line segment will remain same. So the answer is D, 1, -3. Correct. Second one. 4 points are given and we have been asked, out of the following. So out of the following means out of the 4 points that are given below, point dash lies to the right of the origin on the x-axis. So we need to find a point which is on the x-axis. Also, we need to find a point which is on the right-hand side of the origin on the x-axis. Very simple question. And this is not even a question from class 10. This is a question from class 9. Karthik is saying the answer is, Alfia is saying answer is 2, 0. Karthik is also saying the answer is D, 2, 0. How are they saying that? When we say the point is on x-axis, that means the y-coordinate has to be 0. Y-coordinate has to be 0. So this is not possible because y-coordinate here is 2. This is also not possible because here also the y-coordinate is not 0. So the two possibilities are A and B. Now the second point is it has to be on the right hand side of the origin. So all the points that are on the right hand side of the origin on the x-axis, the x-coordinate will be positive. X-coordinate will be positive, which is 2. So the correct answer is 2, 0. If we draw and understand what we are doing, what we are saying for all this, imagine simple axis. You should be drawing these things when you try answer. A y-axis, a x-axis. In the textbook, it's called x complement, y complement. The point where they are intersecting, that is the origin, 0, 0. So a point on the x-axis on the right hand side of the origin. So somewhere here, right? So this point can be 2, 0. That is why this is the answer. Also, something that is parallel to y. Parallel to y. So something like this. Now, on all these points, the x-coordinate is same. So if the x-coordinate is 1, the x-coordinate here also has to be 1. That is why these are the correct answers. The next multiple choice question, which is part 3 of question number 1, is distance of a point. Distance of a point. So a point is given -3, 4. We have to calculate its distance from the origin. We know the common distance formula, which is square root of x2 minus x1 ka square plus y2 minus x1 ka square. Right? So the common distance formula is this: x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Then we take the square root. So when we do this, we need 2 points, x2 minus x1 y1 and x2 y2. So we have one point here. The other point is origin. Origin means 0, 0. These are the coordinates of the other point. So we can use a simpler formula, which is x square plus y square. So it will be -3 square plus 4 square, which will come to 5. -5 cannot be an answer. Distance can never be negative. So कभी किसी भी बच्चे का distance का answer minus नहीं आना चाहिए. This is just not possible. 3 square is 9, -3 square is 9, 9 plus 16 is 25, square root of 25 is 5. Part 4, a line makes an angle of 30 degrees with the positive direction of x-axis. So the slope of the line. Remember, slope of the line with respect to the angle, the formula is m equals to tan theta. Here theta is given as 30 degrees. So the slope is tan 30 degrees, which is, I think, 1 by root 3, or it is, how much is it? Is it 1 by root 3 or is it root 3? Remember, check. I always get this wrong. Yes. Sin theta, sin 30 is 1 by 2. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So 1 by root 3 is the correct answer. Answer is C, 1 by root 3. So these are the 4 multiple choice questions for this exercise. Question number 2 of problem set 5. reads determine mane pata karo whether the given points are collinear or not. Tell me, how will we check? This kind of question we solved recently in the last class only, when we were solving the questions for practice set 5.3. What do we need to do for this one? Collinearity. How will we check? Actually, there are two methods. Let me see if you can give me the easier method. Give me one method. In the last class, when we were studying about the slope of a line, we said that the slope of the line is same at all the places. So we take any part of a given line, the slope of it will remain same. That means if this is a line, A, B, C, they can be in any order. Huh? So the slope of AB will be same as the slope of BC. And it will be same as the slope of AC. But is it really enough? Yes, it is enough. The other method that we studied, I think we studied when we studied distance formula, where we said if we find AB, the distance AB, if we find the distance BC, and if we find the distance AC, then the sum of the two smaller distances will be equal to the longer distance, longest distance. If that happens, then also these points are collinear. So when we were solving questions in practice set 5.1, we were using the distance formula. Because then we did not know about the slope. After we learned about slope in practice set 5.3, we used the slope formula. But in the exam, and what we see in the problem set now, it won't tell us which formula to use. Generally, it won't tell us. The choice is ours. हमको decide करना है. हमको जो आसान लगे, हमको जो अच्छे से आता है. We can use that method and we can check if they are collinear or not. Remember, once again, there are two ways to answer this question. For me, it is easier to use the slope method. In the slope method, I will have to find slope of AB, and I will have to find slope of BC. If these two slopes are same, I will say, yes, they are collinear. If these two slopes are different, then I will say these are not collinear. The other method is the distance method. I will write it on the screen, just hang on. In the distance method, we will find out the distance, the length of AB, the distance between A and B, the length of BC or the distance between B and C, and the length of AC or the distance between A and C. And we will see if the sum of the two shorter distance is equal to the longer distance. If it is, then we will say that these points are collinear. Otherwise, we will say they are not collinear. Number 3 reads, find the coordinates of the midpoint of the line segment joining point P6 and Q1220. This is very straightforward question. We will use the midpoint formula and find the coordinates of the midpoint. Quickly find the midpoint and tell me the coordinates in the chat, in the Zoom chat. Using the simple midpoint formula, we can find the coordinates as 6 and 13, midpoint of this line segment joining P and Q. Question number 4, it says, find the ratio. So this is section formula. Find the ratio in which the line segment joining the points. The points are A 3,8 and B 9 minus 9,3 is divided by y-axis. Very interesting question. Suddenly it seems the rigor of the question has increased. Has it? Let us see. How will we solve it? How will we start solving it? Always helps to draw a rough diagram. It helps us visualize the question. So if we imagine a y-axis and a x-axis, point A is 3, 8. That means point A will be somewhere here, here in the first quadrant. Point B is minus 9, 3. Minus 9, 3, negative and positive. That means it will be somewhere here. It is minus 9, 3. So somewhere here. This is A, 3, 8. And this is B, minus 9, 3. The question is, there is a line segment joining these 2 points, and that is fine. We have a line segment joining these 2 points. Question is, y-axis is dividing this line segment. Yes, see, this point is dividing the line segment. We don't know what the coordinates of the point are. Really? Don't we know? Do we know at least one coordinate? If there are 2, fill in the blanks. Do you think we know at least one coordinate? Any point on the y-axis, the x-coordinate will be 0. So for this point, we can very surely say that this is 0. This is 0. What we don't know is the y. That is it. And we know the section formula where it says m equals to, no, not m equals to, sorry. Our x equals to mx2 plus mx1 by m plus n. We don't know m and n. We have to find m and n. But we do know that this x is 0. We know x1 and x2 also. So we know this is, suppose this is x1 y1 and this is x2 y2, anything we can, or let's take this one as x1 y1. It is on the left hand side, so we are taking that, right? So we can say x2 is 3 and x1 is minus 9. We will get a equation from here. Similarly, y equals to my2 plus ny1 by m plus n, right? So here also we know this equation, or the values y2 and y1. What are y2 and y1? Y2 is 8 and y1 is 3. So 2 equations we have. When we solve these equations, we will get the value of y. This is how we will proceed. All we have been asked is the ratio. If we need both the ratio and the y-axis, then y coordinate, then we will need both the equations. But if we only need the ratio, then we can find it from the first equation, right? mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n equals to 0. We have solved these questions. We have seen the solution of such questions in the example also before practice set 5.2. Question number 5, practice set, problem set 5. Find the point on x-axis which is equidistant from these 2 points. Once again, this is not a new question. We have solved this type of question before. So the way to solve the question is to visualize. And we can visualize if we draw a rough diagram. So we can draw a y-axis, we can draw a x-axis. The points are 2, minus 5. 2, minus 5 will be in 4th quadrant. You know? It will be in the 4th quadrant. So somewhere here, say. And q is minus 2, 9. So it will be somewhere here. So the line segment, we need to find a point. So this is our P and this is our So now if you imagine a line segment joining these 2 points. So this is the line segment, but we don't need the line segment. What we need to find out is something else. We need to find out a point on x-axis. कहीं पर, मान लो यहाँ पर है point. We need to find such a point कि it is equidistant from these 2 points. That means this distance and this distance, they are same. So we will say let the coordinates be x comma y. Can you give me a better answer? X comma y, should we keep it x comma y or can we simplify it? Because this point is on x axis. This is a special line. All points on x axis have a special characteristics. Can we simplify this? Instead of writing x comma y, correct, we can write x comma 0. X comma 0. Now applying the distance formula, we can find the value of x. Distance formula for, suppose we call this point as A, distance formula for AP, distance formula for AQ, we can find the value of x. We have solved this type of question in practice set 5.1. Didn't I tell you? The questions are in random order. Now we are coming back to the distance formula in a much easier way. It says find the distances between the following points. So there are, in question number 6, there are 3 sets of points. And it's a combination between arithmetic, algebra, and geometry. The points are A comma 0, and B, 0 comma A. We have to find the distance between them. So all we need to do is use the distance formula, substitute the values, and find the distance. I'm going to start the answer. You will tell me, you will complete it, and you will tell the answer in the chat. So we will start by saying AB or DA comma B will be equal to x2 minus x1. So x1, y1 here, x2, y2 here. So x2 minus x1 will be 0 minus A square. Then y2 minus y1 will be A minus 0 square. Solvent L. So using the distance formula and substituting the values that are given in the question for the coordinates of the points, we can find the distance between the 2 points. Interesting question. Interesting, I said, because this is, I think we haven't done this type of question, have we? Look at the textbook, look at the questions that we have solved from the beginning of the chapter. Have we done this kind of question? Where is it? Find out and tell me. It says find the coordinates of the circumcenter of a triangle whose vertices are -3, 1, 0, -2, and 1, 3. Find out where this type of question is. To solve this kind of question, it is not enough just to know the formula that we have studied in this chapter. We will have to know something else also, and that is circumcenter of a triangle. Circumcenter is the set point in the triangle. If that point, if we make it a center, then we will be able to draw a circle which will pass through all the 3 vertices of a triangle. What do we mean? Let us again try visualize what we are saying. Imagine a triangle. No, let us start from a circle. Then it will be easier for me to draw and explain. So if we have a triangle P, Q, and R, then this circle which passes through the 3 vertices P, Q, and R is called the circumcircle. And its center, which will be somewhere here, in this case, this is called the circumcenter. And because the radius of any circle, any radius of a particular circle, they are of the same length. Then if we say that the center is C, then PC equals to QC equals to RC. Then using the distance formula, we can find the coordinates of this point, x, y. Similar question is solved as example number 6, page number 106. Number 8 is a new type of question, in the sense we have solved this type of question in bits and pieces, but not together. Interesting. It reads in the following examples, not examples, in the following situations, badly written question. So there are 3 parts to question number 8. There are 3 different situations. Can the segment joining the given points form a triangle? Another mistake. It should have been can the segments joining the given points form a triangle? This is one question. Second question is, if triangle is formed, तो पहले तो पता करना है कि क्या ट्रायंगल बनेगा. कुछ लोग सोच रहे होंगे, हाँ 3 पॉइंट है तो ट्रायंगल क्यों नहीं बनेगा? अरे नहीं बाबा, नॉट नेसेसरी कि 3 पॉइंट दिया है तो ट्रायंगल बनेगा. याद करो, एक केस होता है जब नहीं बनता है. सो फर्स्ट वी हैव टू चेक कि ट्रायंगल बनेगा कि नहीं बनेगा. Then we have to find out if the triangle is formed, the type of triangle. What is the type of triangle considering the sides of the triangle? So let us try answer this question from the backwards, from last thing. What are the 3 different types of triangle based on the sides? Can you name them? Scalene, isosceles, equilateral. So remember this. And we can find if the sides are equal or not, but just by finding the lengths. What lengths? LM, MN, and LN, using the simple distance formula. But before we start finding the distance, let us ensure that they form a triangle. If these 3 points are on the same line, suppose this is the case. If they are on the same line, then they will not form a triangle. They will form a straight line. They are forming a straight line segment. So the first part of the question, which says check whether they form a triangle, it is another way of asking, check whether they are collinear or not. If they are collinear, they will not form a triangle. If they are not collinear, only then they will form a triangle. So we will use the slope formula, slope method. We will find the slope of LM, find the slope of MN, and compare. If the slopes are same, that means L, M, N are collinear and triangle will not be formed. Only if the slopes are different, we can be sure that triangle will be formed, and then we can find the distances, lengths of the sides. So quickly now find the slope of line segment LM, then find the slope of line segment MN, and let us see if a triangle is formed or not. Find the slope in your notebook and share with me in the chat. So when we check the slopes, we know that slope of LM and slope of MN, they are different. 7 by 11 is different from minus 11. So we are 100% sure that they are not collinear. That means they will form a triangle. After this, we can find the distance between L and M, we can find the distance between M and N, and we can find the distance between L and N. Find K if the line passing through points minus 12, minus 3, and 4, K has slope 1:2, 1/2. Nothing new in this question. We have solved this type of question. We have seen the solution of this type of question in the example, and we have solved this type of question. Find out where it is in the textbook. Find out the similar example question in the textbook. Tell me the page number, example number. Page number 120, and these type of questions we saw only in the last class. Page number 120, it says 2 points are given, slope is given, one of the coordinate is not given, we have to find the coordinate. So using the slope method, slope formula, which is m equals to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So Just going in the order they have been given, x1, y1, x2, y2. You put all the values, x2, x1, y1, x2, y2. Only thing we don't know is this. So here we will put k and all the values. We know m equals to 1 by 2. We solve it and we find the value of k. Linear equation in one variable. Nothing new. Show that the line joining the points 4, 8 and 5, 5 is parallel to the line joining the points 2, 4 and d, d 1, 7. Sorry, I read it wrong. Huh? So 4 points are given and we have to prove that the line segments that are formed by joining pairs of them, they are parallel to each other. What test will we use? How do we find out? The 2 points on these 2 line segments, 2 points each on the line segments are given and we have to check whether they are parallel or not. What test will we use? What property of the parallel lines will be? If we want to find the slope of the line joining A and B, what we have to do is we have to find the slope of the line segment joining A and B. So we can find M1 say equals to 5 minus 8 divided by 5 minus 4, y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. For CD, 7 minus 4 by 1 minus 2. When we solve this, it is minus 3 by 1 minus 3. 7 minus 4 is 3 by 1. It is 3. Is it right? Is it not right? Are the slopes right or wrong? Are they parallel or not parallel? Very good, Chan. Yes, we will calculate the slope and find. Check my calculation. Do your own calculations. Tell me if they are parallel or not. We need to be very careful. Thank you, Prachi, Karthik, Chan. I have seen your answers. We have to be very careful when we are solving such questions. In a hurry, we may end up doing this mistake. 1 minus 2 is not 1, it is minus 1. So 3 divided by minus 1 will be minus 3. Here we see, because minus 3 is equal to minus 3, we can say slope of AB is equal to slope of CD. Because the slopes are same, we can say AB is parallel to CD. Itna hi karna hai. Question number 11 reads, show that points P, Q, R, S are vertices of a parallelogram. Not a new question. We have come across this question as a solved example, and we have come across multiple such questions in the exercise also. Vertices of a parallelogram. And we have come across this type of question in 2 different places. One for distance formula and one for slope formula. How will we solve? The easier method will be using the slope formula. So we will calculate the slope of PQ, QR, RS and PS, and we will see that 2 slopes will be equal, 2 other slopes will also be equal. That means opposite sides of this. किस का equal होगा? PQ, slope of the PQ कैसा है? If you imagine a rough parallelogram, P, Q, R, S, it is the order that is given. So we will find that the slope of PQ and slope of RS, they will be same. Similarly, the slope of QR and the slope of PS will be same. That will tell us that PQ is parallel to RS and QR is parallel to PS. Opposite sides of a parallelogram, opposite sides of a quadrilateral are parallel, so it is a parallelogram. Next question, question number 13. Find the lengths of the medians of a triangle whose vertices are. Let's try visualize. Visualize by drawing a rough triangle. Suppose This is the triangle that we are talking about. Randomly I'm drawing A, B, C. We have to find the lengths of the medians. What does this even mean? It means lengths of the line segments that join vertices to the opposite side of the midpoint of their opposite side. So like this. Like this. So if we call them P, Q, R, the point of concurrence of the medians will be centroid. We don't need it, but if we are showing it, we should show it with G. We don't need it now. So we have to find the distances AP, BQ, and CR. What we know are the coordinates of A that are -1, 1. Using the midpoint formula, we can find the coordinate of P. What is the formula? X1 plus X2 by 2 and Y1 plus Y2 by 2. So using B and C as the 2 points, we can find the midpoint P. Using A and C as 2 points, we can find the midpoint Q. Using A and B as 2 points of the line segment, we can find the midpoint R. Then we will have the coordinates of A and P. Mil gaya humko. Then we can find the distance using the distance formula. So we need the midpoint formula and we will also need the distance formula. So once again, the tools we know. Now we need to use them in the proper way. Question 14, there is a star mark. We will decide when we solve whether the star should be there or not. What it says is find the coordinates of centroid of a triangle. You know what a centroid is? It's the point of concurrence of the medians. It divides the median in the ratio 2:1. So the 3 vertices are given. No, not the 3 vertices. The midpoints of the three sides are given. And from here, we have to find the centroid. Very interesting. If we draw this, once again, imagine a random triangle. So what is given in the question is, suppose the triangle is A, B, and C, and the midpoints are D, E, and F. In the question, what we have are the coordinates of the midpoints. So this is -7, 6. This is 8, 5. And this is 2, -2. What do we need to find? This G, X, Y. This we have to find. This is it. So from midpoint, maybe we will find the vertices coordinates of a vertex. And then by using the ratio 2:1, we will be able to find using the section formula, we will be able to find the value of X and Y coordinates for the centroid of this triangle. Four vertices are given, A, B, C, and D, and we have to show that they are vertices of a square. This is exactly same as example number 4 on page number 105 or 104. Square is a special type of quadrilateral. It's a parallelogram. It's a perfect parallelogram. All the 4 sides are congruent to each other. The diagonals are also congruent to each other. The diagonals are perpendicular bisectors of each other. All those things are there. We will use some of the properties to prove that the A, B, C, and D, when we join these points, we will get a square. So we can use the slope formula to first prove that this is a parallelogram, and then perhaps we can use the diagonals, lengths of the diagonals to show that it is a square. Okay. No, we will have to find all the 6 distances: AB, BC, CD, DA, 4 sides, and then the diagonals. Let me draw, it will be clearer. So imagine A, B, C, and D like this. So we will find this distance, this distance, this distance, and this distance. We should be getting them same. But that is not enough to make it a square. It can also be a rhombus. So to make it a square, the other 2 distances that we need to check are these diagonals, AC and BD. When all these 6 distances, where 4 distances are same and the other 2 distances are same, then it will be a square. Find the coordinates of circumcenter and radius of circumcircle of triangle ABC. So this is not a new question, but there is a new part to this question. In the previous cases, we were given the 3 vertices of a triangle and we were asked to find the circumcenter. Remember, circumcircle is the circle passing through all the 3 vertices of a given triangle. The center of that circle is called the circumcenter, which is at the same distance from the 3 vertices. So using distance formula, we can find the coordinates of that center. And once we find the coordinates of that center, we can find the radius, that is the distance between the circumcenter and any of the vertex. So there is just one additional part to the question, but nothing new, no logic, no new logic. Number 70. 2 points are given A and B. A is 4, -3 and B is 8, 5. Find the coordinates of the point that divides the segment AB in the ratio 3:1. Told you in the beginning. In this exercise, questions are not in the order of difficulty. This is direct question of section formula. So our M, N, X1, Y1, X2, Y2 all are given. Quickly find the coordinates. I'm indicating X1, Y1, everything. X1, Y1, X2, Y2, M and N. Find the coordinates using the formula. I will write the formula also for you. Calculate, find the value of X and Y. You directly using the section formula, we can find the coordinates. So if I was designing this exercise, I would have kept this question much ahead, because this does not involve any thinking. This is just application using the formula. I think for me, this is one of the most interesting questions for the chapter. It forces us to do certain things. It forces us to not take any shortcuts. It says, find the type of the quadrilateral. So 4 points are given. A, -4, -2, 3, -3, -7, C, 3, -2, and D, 2, 3. They are joined serially. This is very important. That means the quadrilateral that we want to check is A joined with B, B joined with C, C joined with D. This is the quadrilateral that we are checking. So there are many possibilities. A quadrilateral can be nothing but a quadrilateral. It can be a trapezium, it can be a parallelogram. If it is a parallelogram, it can be a rhombus, it can be a rectangle, it can be a square. And that is why I find this question very interesting. We will not know unless we have done all the tests. and the most difficult thing to find out would be square. उससे पहले ही हो सकता है हम रुक जाएं, हमको पैरेललोग्राम मिल जाएगा, हम रुक जाएंगे कि हाँ कि पैरेललोग्राम, हम स्क्वायर तक जाएंगे ही नहीं, लेकिन हमको जाना चाहिए. So one method is to find the slopes of AB, BC, CD, DA and see if it is a parallelogram or a trapezium. If it is a parallelogram, then we should find the distances between AB, CD, AB, BC, CD, DA, AC and BD to see if it is a rhombus or a rectangle or a square. So it is possible that we'll find that no, it is not even a trapezium. Trapezium may one pair of opposite sides will be parallel, the other two sides will not be parallel. This is what I would do, using the slope formula to see if it is a parallelogram or trapezium, and after that using the distance formula to see what kind of special parallelogram it is. The line segment AB is divided into 5 congruent parts. Sorry, this is section formula. PQ, QR, RS. At PQ, RS. Okay, such that AP. Acha, dekha. This is also very. It needs some thinking, some understanding. We need to understand what is happening. What is the line segment? What are the parts? So it says line segment AB. AB. It is divided into 5 parts. To divide it into 5 parts, we need 4 points in between A and B, and all of them will be at equal distance. So suppose P, Q, R, and S are here. Point Q is 12,14 and point S is 4,18. ये दे दिया ये सब. अरे find the coordinates of A, P, R, D. So the questions that we have solved before, we were given with the coordinates of A and B also. Now we don't have. No need to worry. Because we are dividing them in the ratio, in 5 equal parts, we can say that P divides the line segment AB in the ratio 1:5. Q divides in the ratio 2:5. Is it correct? Is it not correct? Something is wrong. Something that I wrote is wrong. What is wrong? See, think, tell me what I have written wrong. P clearly divides in the ratio 1:4. देखो इधर 1 है, इधर 4 हिस्से हैं. Q is dividing in the ratio 2:3. R is dividing in the ratio 3:2. Finally, S is dividing in the ratio 4:1. So we need not look at the entire line. हम इसको भी ले सकते हैं, है ना? और उसका रेशियो हम P कौन से रेशियो में डिवाइड कर रहा है? The line segment AQ. We can find it like that, or we can take the point Q. Point Q is dividing line AB in the ratio 2:3. Using that, we will try to find the coordinates of A and coordinates of B. We can also combine what S is doing to A and B, line segment A and B. We can find x1, y1, x2, y2. Using that, we can find the coordinates of B and we can find the coordinates of. There are multiple ways. There will be multiple ways to find this. No straight question. And this will not be a 1-mark question or 2-mark question or a 3-mark question. This will be a long question. Find the coordinates of the center of the circle passing through the points this, and this. You will think it is a new question. It is not a new question. What is it asking? Can you, what is this question similar to? Tell me in the chat. You have already done this. So instead of saying find the coordinates of the circumcenter, it says find the coordinates of the center of a circle passing through 3 points. 3 points are on a circle. That means they are not collinear. They are not collinear. That means they can form a triangle. So this circle is the circumcircle of that triangle. And this center is the circumcenter of this triangle. So the question remains same. Another of my favorite questions of this chapter, because it is not straightforward. Find the possible pairs of coordinates. Achha, mane isme multiple answers are possible. Of the fourth vertex of the parallelogram. So 3 vertices are given. A, B, C. And it is asking for the fourth vertex. और वो कह रहा है कि इसके 2 possibilities हैं. ऐसा क्यों होता है? ऐसा क्यों हो सकता है? Remember, the parallelogram in general, in a very simplistic way, we can draw it like this. Very random parallelogram. Understand this question. I'm just simplifying it. Right? This is a parallelogram. I hope you will all agree with me. A, B, C, and D. This is a possibility. Yes or no? Can we have another parallelogram? Can we have another parallelogram with same points A, B, and C, but D at a different place? Try draw in your notebook, take a picture and send it to me on WhatsApp. Can you try? I'm saying if this is a parallelogram, can we draw another parallelogram by using 3 of the points of A, B, C, D? If we keep the points A, B, and C, and if I ask you to draw another parallelogram, how will it look? I will draw it for you. Don't worry. Don't worry. ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना? Let me draw in a much better way. Let me use the straight lines. So if we have 3 points, the 3 points that are fixed are A, B, and C. If the 3 points are fixed, we can have 2 different parallelograms. One where D is on the left hand side of the C. Another one where D is on the right hand side of C. This is what the question is asking. ये क्या हो सकता है? X, Y, and what the other D can be. What is the other possible values of X and Y? That is the question. Right? So in one parallelogram, which is drawn in blue, AB and CD will be congruent, AD and BC will be congruent. In the other parallelogram, which is drawn in red, AC and BD will be congruent. CD and AB will be congruent. So the names of the quadrilaterals will be different. Parallelograms will be different. The blue one can be called quadrilateral or parallelogram A, B, C, D. The red one can only be called A, B, D, C. Because of this, there are two possibilities for the point D. Last question of the exercise, last question of the chapter. Find the slope of diagonals of quadrilateral with vertices A, B, C, and D. Again, it is not telling us what is the quadrilateral. Is it ABCD? Is it ABDC? Is it ADBC? We don't know. Right? So we will have to find the slopes of all the lines, all the possible line segments. We will have to find 6 slopes: AB, BC, CD, and DA. I think so. Along with that, we will have to find AC and BD. We will see that out of these 4, 2 will be same and 2 other will be same. They will be the slopes of the slides, because opposite sides of a quadrilateral or parallelogram will be same. Let us go back. Find the slope of the diagonals of the quadrilateral with the vertices. Let us go back. Think. How will this quadrilateral look like? What will be its diagonals? Very easy way to solve this would be, imagine the coordinate plane. Y-axis and x-axis. First point A, 1, 7, it will be here. A. Second point 6, 3. So 6 and 3 somewhere here. B. Third point 0, minus 3. 0, minus 3. It will be somewhere here. This is C. D. Minus 3, 3. Minus 3, 3. Somewhere here. D. Now we know that the code, it's a very simple quadrilateral. Now we know that its diagonals are, we are sure now, the diagonals are AC and BD. So we can say, now we can find the slopes of line segments AB, AC, and BD. So we need to figure out where these vertices are, A, B, C, and D. And then only we can say with confidence what the diagonals will be, is my understanding. Right? In the guide, it is assuming that the quadrilateral is A, B, C, D. We cannot assume, because it is not given that the quadrilateral is A, B, C, D. We have to find out what that quadrilateral is. Which I have not written on the screen. You will try all the questions of practice problem set 5. You will come ready with your doubts, and you will come ready with your list of questions that you want me to solve in the class, in the next class. If you have doubt, I will clear your doubts. If you have requests for solution of specific questions, I will solve. Otherwise, we will understand that all of you are clear about all the questions. That is it.